Hey there, welcome to DIY Cat. Today I'm going to show you how to take this chain and make it look like this chain. I hope. For this, you are going to need gloves for your hands, a sanding block or sandpaper for your chain. You'll want some kind of soap if your chain is filthy like mine, paintbrushes of different textures and varieties, paint of different textures and varieties. Try to stick within the rusty chain colored kind. Those will work best. Some kind of dirt or powder. Baby powder will work fine for this. Dirt will also work, and that's it. So let's get started. All right, first things first, you need to put gloves on, if only to protect your manicure. I have done lots and lots of crafts without gloves on, and I have regretted it almost every single time because paint gets into your cuticles and it's gross. But there's probably also chemicals you don't want in there, so put your gloves on. And as you can see, my chain has been soaking in water. You certainly don't need to get to use dirty old chain. You can buy chain at lots of hardware stores. True Value sells this. It's cheap. They actually sell the yellow kind. Home Depot sells a white variety you could also use. I'm gonna clean mine real quick, and if I need to, I'm gonna use this Boraxo. It's not sticking, but it might come off better if I use soap. So I'll just do that real quick. All right, I think that is as clean as it's gonna get. There are lots of cuts and gouges in it that I did not realize were there, so the dirt is stuck in there. That's okay, we can work with that. So I'm going to move my bowl of water, dry this chain off a little. Okay, so you need to rough up the edges of your plastic so that the paint sticks better. So give it a light sand. I don't think much more than just a light sand is all that you'll need. So just do that real quick. Okay, now that your chain is cleaned and sanded, you can start painting. Now, like I said, this was I'm going to try to turn this chain into the other chain, try to make this chain look like the metal chain. I'm not 100% positive I'll manage to, but I think I'll get pretty close. So I'm going to start with this black paint. Doesn't matter the brand, but in case you're curious, mine is Apple Barrel Multi-Surface in 21985E black. Pretty sure that means it's black. I will start by stamping this with black, just to kind of take off the yellow. This is my work desk, that's why I don't put anything under the paint. I will. If you're working on someone else's table, please put something underneath your paint. You know what, this is taking too long, so I'm just going to smear it in with my fingers and then use the brush to stamp it on to give it a better texture. Quick note, this paint stinks. If you're going to work with paint, I recommend doing it in a well-ventilated room. My windows aren't open, but yours should be. Mine aren't open because it's windy outside and you'd hear it, so don't be like me. Okay, that chain is not yellow anymore. It's hard to see, but it's not actually sparkling. It's just wet. So I'm gonna lay this right here, and what I'm gonna do is wipe my hands off on a paper towel. I forgot to mention you might need paper towels. All right, the paint's not all the way off the gloves, but it is dry now, so it won't transfer anymore. And you want to be careful not to. Touching the chain will probably pull the paint off, but we are going to set that real quick with the baby powder. So I'm going to take a little bit of baby powder and put it right here on my work desk. I'm going to open it first and then put it right here on my work desk. Oh no, I didn't expect it to go poof. Again, well-ventilated room. To put this baby powder on this wet paint, I'm going to take this fluffy brush and just scoop a little of this powder up and dab it on. That will make it look older and rustier, and also set this paint a little bit so you can keep working. It makes it look chunky and rusted. So when you add the red paint, you'll see. This paint and powder technique is not new especially if you do any sort of post-apocalyptic costuming. The powder makes it look old and dirty. You can use all sorts of, you can buy dirt to do this. You can get sand, you can go to a gravel quarry. I'm sure they'll give you old dirt. But you can also use baby powder, and I use baby powder often, especially when I don't want to go outside and harvest my own dirt. The baby powder and paint technique also works on fabric. So if you want to make a pair of pants or a shirt look old and dirty, paint and powder. Okay, your yellow chain is now painted black, powdered. So now the next step is to add another color. This whole technique relies on you layering colors and textures. So now I'm going to cover my baby powder up with my old nasty black paint covered paper towel. It's okay, it'll be just fine, I promise. You won't get the chain any dirtier. So lay your dirty, powdery chain on your paper towel. And now this is where you need to get creative. I'm going to start with this spray hair color. I use this in my own hair often, but I have also used these for crafting, and they actually work pretty well. So you gotta shake it up in quick bursts. This is going to be off camera because of how far away you have to hold it, but just like this. Look at that, it already looks like rust. This worked way better than I thought it would. Make sure you hit everywhere pretty good. It doesn't need to be saturated because you don't want to get rid of the antiquing you got from the white and the black. So just a nice coat, but not saturated. Okay, so that's already looking a lot more like a rusted metal chain and a lot less like a dirty yellow plastic chain. From here though, you need to add more layers. So we're gonna do a bit more baby powder. So I'm gonna put that straight on this paper towel. Take the brush you were just using and just maybe use a little less baby powder this time. Tap off the excess. This time, instead of sticking to the paint like it did the black, it's not going to stick as well because that spray we just used is not as wet. So a lot less baby powder this time, and really work it in to give it that dusty, dirty, rusty look. So look at that. That is already looking a lot more like real metal at a fraction of the weight. So from here, I'm going to add some more metallic touches, and I'd like to find some way to add more texture. So this is the other gold paint I have. It's hard to tell, but it is gold. It's a very light gold. It's a metallic gold. Do they have a non-metallic gold? Just dollop a little bit right here. I'm going to take the same brush we've been using, and I'm going to get just a little on the brush. I'm going to dab it on here so that it's less. So you can't really see now, but it's just wet. And I'm going to brush it on. And it gives a little bit of a metallic sheen. That's pretty cool. I'm not sure that's gonna be good enough. So I'm going to mix it with the baby powder just a little bit to try to, as you probably can't see because I haven't gotten my nice camera up yet, but it looks really, really, really good. Like I wonder if I can hold it up close enough for, whoops. Maybe you can't see the metallic, but it does look really good. I think you might actually be able to fool some people. Maybe not, your grizzled old wastelanders, but that's fine. You'll fool everyone else. And you tell them I sent you, and then they'll get over it. Just say Siren sent me. So that's working really, really well, and it gives it that like textured, chunky, rust look. So I'm going to do that to the rest of the chain. I'm going to add more gold when I need to, and I'm going to do that to the rest of the chain now. So. And there we go. This is the gold paint mixed with the baby powder on top of the red and black paint. And I don't know about you, but that looks, even if it doesn't look just like the chain I showed you in the beginning of the video, it sure looks like a metal chain now, and it weighs significantly less. Make sure you don't want too much of the whites still to show. A little bit's not bad, but you want to keep it to a minimum. So you would keep doing this, mixing baby powder and paint until you get the desired result. I'm pretty satisfied with this. This is definitely something that I would call good. Now to finish this, you'll want to seal it. I'm not going to do that on camera because sealant should be done outside. The black paint I used earlier stunk, but sealant is gross. You really don't want to do that inside. I'll have to do that outside on newspaper. But for now, this one's good. I'm satisfied with this. It came out really, really well. I had hoped it would, but sometimes, you know, costuming is all trial and error and no success. But luckily, this trial ended up in success. So there's your chain. Let's compare. This is what I started with. This is what I was trying to get to. I think I did a pretty good job. Now, if I could do it again, I would get some more orange paint, because while this looks good by itself, it does not look like that because it doesn't have any orange. So it's up to you. If you like this more gray, dingy, oily black, then stick to this. If you want a more orangey look, and I think I do, you're gonna need orange paint as well. So all I had was red and black and gold. All right, so I hope that was as fun for you as it was for me. I actually really enjoy learning how to do these kinds of things. The paint technique is not new for me, but this is the first time I've ever painted plastic and tried to get it to look like metal and had it work out this well. So I'm sure you're wondering, why don't I just use the metal chain? Well, this chain, this loud chain, is probably less than 3 feet long. I wanted to use this on my hip for my Wastelander costume, but it's too heavy. I will get tired of carrying it. I'll take it off. It's gonna get hot because of the sun. That's why I wanted to make a plastic chain. Plastic is significantly lighter, it doesn't get hot, and if you can paint it to look like metal, why not? Just it'll be your little secret. There's my plastic chain that I painted to look like metal, and that's it. Thanks for watching.